This is serious. I mean, this is possibly even seismic. I just wrote an article for appleinsider.com about basically the desks and the working gear of a lot of their writers, including me, which also means for the first time in recorded history, I tidied my desk a little bit so that I could take a photograph of it. Tidy it? I even cleaned it. Get me, okay? Since this is a bit unlikely to happen ever again, I want to take this moment to enjoy being able to show you this without first shoving cables, or quite often a tea mug, out of the way. And I want to show you this too, this on the desk, because actually I've been asked about it quite often. Well, once I was asked about this. Right, I've got coins in there. Who remembers the last time we could go out and spend money? It's like a paperclip holder in the form of a golf ball typewriter head. Couldn't tell you where it came from. And no one's ever asked me about this, but it's a Liberator teleport bracelet from Blake 7. Not as used on screen, but when I bought it all those years ago, I was told it was made by the same people who made the real ones for the show, and at the same time that they were making it for the BBC drama. This has been on my desk for my entire freelance writing career. Whereas this, the thing that's actually been asked about, is new, or quite new. It's a few months in, and this is, as I say, it's the thing I keep being asked about. I mean, here I am, right? I'm hoping to tell you something useful. I'm full steam ahead, and you go, yeah. Can you just get out the way? What's that box in the corner behind you? Yeah. Thanks. It's called an Elgato Stream Deck, and it is not made for writers. I did not think that I would ever show it to you. It didn't cross my mind even to show it to you. But I suppose I am a writer, and I do use it extensively, in fact, in my writing business. And again, I keep being asked, what is it and how are you using it? So here goes. Elgato Stream Deck, the tool that isn't for writers, but is for writers. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is 58 Keys, which, as ever, as always, is for writers like you and me who use and write on Macs and iPhones and iPads and Stream Decks. Hang on, actually, let me lean on this tidy dirt. Tell you what, you subscribe and I'll edge slightly closer, and I'll also keep it tidy. We got, yeah, Stream Deck. Okay, it's designed, as the name I think already tells you, it's for streamers, people whose work is in live streaming video. I mean, games, Twitch, all sorts of things. I mean, hopefully you know what they are, because if I knew, I'd tell you, but I don't. None of them are writing, though. It's definitely not for writing, though. Except these days we are all streaming in one way or another. We're all on Zoom calls or the like. So actually, let me jump ahead and show you something that I use the Stream Deck for. Before I tell you how it works and things, just how to get to use it. Finally, you and I get to go on a Zoom call. It's been a while, hasn't it? Hello. I need to say first, the thing with the Stream Deck is it has buttons that can do things. Seriously, the quality of information you get from it. What I mean is that by itself, when you get it, the buttons, they don't actually do much at all, but you can very quickly set them up to do certain things. I mean, in fact, actually many things, and then you can also quite slowly set them up to do many more things in combination with other apps. And the thing I want to show you, just as a whizzy example if you like, it does require another app, and it took me quite a while to set it up too. So you won't get this out of the box with Stream Deck, but what you will get is why it's so useful, how this can make something, a bit of my writing business, how I can make that be really useful and worth having a Stream Deck for. Last weekend, as I was recording this, I was running like a young writing webinar thing, 12, 13 teenage writers, really good writers, just as amazingly good. But we were discussing scripts. Okay, so picture the scene. You're somewhere around 15, looking good. Okay, and we've been talking in a webinar for about half an hour or so, and now we're on the subject of scripts, and I want to talk about, well, I say it's a particular script. Okay, I can do this. So just by pressing a single button, which I've marked as Cam C for no good reason at all, I can switch to that view of a script of mine. And then, hopefully not just from ego, I can press another button and do this. Okay. Actually, no, I can't tell you one. Okay, let's just go. It's just you and me. Let's go back to just you and me. Okay, oh, that's a bit better, right? Okay. Like as I say, that thing, the circle, the script view, it involves other apps, and I'll show them. I'll take you through it if you want to know. Ask me in the comments. But it's you know, further and further away from writing, isn't it? I think with the Stream Deck, we're already quite far away from it, but I do use it a lot. I do like it a lot. Oh, actually, I'll tell you about that. Let's go the other way, completely the other way. Here's something I know you will like, and I know you can do with the Stream Deck straight out of the box. You have to set up a key, as I'll show you, to set it up, but it's a function that's available to you without the other apps, without the piddling around that I had to do. And it's this. We've now been talking for longer, so you're about 16, okay? We're almost at the end of the session, and we're done. We're all saying goodbye. You know what it's like at the end of a Zoom call? It's ever so slightly awkward. Yeah, because you're moving your cursor to find the end button, and you click that, and but no, it isn't done because it asks you to confirm it. Or if you're in charge to end meeting for all, and you've got to move the cursor to where that is. Yeah, none of that. Instead, I can do this. That is so much better. Yeah, except sometimes it's too fast. Sometimes I've said goodbye in the meeting, and as I press the button, someone has said, "Oh, but wait a sec." Gone out of it. Yeah. So, all right, there is that, but you get used to it, and it's better. This is the Stream Deck. Okay, take a look at this. There's no sign of that Leave Zoom button here, though, nor of any of the ones to switch to the script or put me in a circle or all that. It's just a series of other buttons, plenty of them, in fact, plenty of buttons. They're all lit up, and they all have different icons and different symbols in them. There are 15 buttons on this model, and they can all each be set up to do anything that the Stream Deck is capable of doing, and they can all be set up to display any icon, any image that you like. That's because each button is actually a screen. You can put any image at all. Any image you like can go straight in there. Make an icon from Elgato's own website, editor thingy, or just about any image editor you like for it. And while you have 15 buttons of this, yeah, you have more because you have folders. You also have profiles. I like profiles. They're like sets. You have a profile or a set in which the 15 buttons are for general use, but there's another set of 15 where the 15 are all for using Apple Pages or Zoom or video editing, whatever you like for it. You set the profiles, the buttons and the icons in the Stream Deck app. So this is the Stream Deck app on the Mac, and as you open it, these are all the buttons I've filled out so far, and those buttons match the buttons actually on the screen here. If I just do this, go to another set, writing set I've done at the end. Okay, so there's Final Draft, there's Pages, Omni Outliner, and these various macros and things to do. Yeah, you don't want to know about that. Drafts is up there, and I've forgotten to put an icon in that one. I should sort that one out. And this is the one I have. It's a countdown clock for an hour. I can tell myself I just write until it bleeps at me. And this is one point where the button on the screen doesn't match the button on here. The button on the actual Stream Deck, you can see it's counting down, actually quite horribly. Let's end that. Let me go back to start into here, and we've got this nice blank button. What can we put in the blank button? I have truly no idea. Should have thought this through a little bit. These are mostly things that come with Elgato Stream Deck, but there are others. That Keyboard Maestro one, there's a way to add, if you look at this here, the plus, you can add other ones from the Elgato store. Lots of them are free, lots of them are paid for things. Of course, that's the opposite of free, they're paid for. And there are also third-party companies that do all sorts of things. I want to find something that lets me just show you. Well, all right, actually, tell you what, let's just do this timer one, because you've seen what a timer looks like. I'm going to move that, I drag it into this button, and how many seconds do I want it to be? 30 seconds because I can't work out the maths of how many minutes, how many seconds is 1 hour, 60 minutes. I should be able to work it out. Don't look at me like that, I'm embarrassed. I'm going to call it something. I'm going to call it test timer, something short, whatever. And there you go, it says test timer. And it counts down for 30 seconds, unless I type it. I don't really like that icon. I can call it something else. I can set it to something else. Actually, why don't I just find an image and drag it in? Let's find a PNG image. Could be anything. I just happen to like PNG. Let's do. I've got to find something. Who knew I had so many? Image WG. That's me. Who knows what that is? That's my tidy desk. Yeah, all right. Yeah, there are limits. I know. I'm going to see what happens if I try to drag that into here. And there it is. There's a picture for it right on the button. I don't think I can actually read the text very well there. I mean, you know you can read it, but it looks a bit ugly. So I can choose instead here to not show a title and just trust the fact that the picture of my desk means get on with it for 30 seconds. I think that picture looks a bit ugly, actually. So, of course, you know, I would prepare it better. I would make one that was the right size, or at least I'll make one that was square and then drag that in for it. But any picture and any button. And that's just how you do the stream decking. Stream decking? Am I inventing a new term here? There are many things that the Elgato Stream Deck can do right out of the box. You drag the function in and it's done there. But ultimately, what you're always doing is making this button, one button, be a trigger. A thing that starts off something else, or many somethings else's. There's a button I use, for example, with Keyboard Maestro, the Mac app, the gorgeous Mac app. As far as the Stream Deck is concerned, it only cares that when I press this button, I want the separate, and again, tremendous, Keyboard Maestro app to go do something. Okay. Once you know how to do that, once you've set up that once, when you're used to it, working with other apps in particular, which sometimes is fiddly, sometimes isn't, you can do anything. One button can launch a Keyboard Maestro script that does just thing after thing. Actually, let me show you. Tell you what, you tap through to this set of buttons. Right, Apple Insider. But this is a set of buttons I use when I'm writing for Apple Insider. Those fine people who made me clean my desk recently. Maybe I'm in Pages before or something like that, or a Final. I'm doing anything, but now it's time to go do some Apple Insider work, so watch. That's open Slack, Drafts 5, my favorite RSS newsreader, Pixelmator Pro editor, and a series of websites that either I have to use or which always prove to be useful reference tools. Opens them all, moves them about into where I want them to be. Yeah, kind of, mostly. It's very nearly that. For some reason, Slack, the messaging stuff over there, it puts it, I want it over there, and it puts it there. And I don't know why it goes there. I've done something wrong somewhere and I'll figure it out. But actually, I just use another control to move it out of the way at some point like that. Or I may have just moved the wrong window, but let's figure it out later. Again, the point is, though, it's one button in Stream Deck. One button could launch the Keyboard Maestro script. Well, actually, no, I could launch it, couldn't it, as well? I could launch it from Keyboard Maestro. I could launch it from the keyboard. There are quite a few ways I could have run that thing, but instead, press the start button that I created. Also, one more thought. You saw me press buttons to get into the buttons for Apple Insider. Well, yeah, watch this though. Watch the Stream Deck as I go into, let's say, Final Cut Pro, the video editor. There you go. It knows that I've launched that video editor and that when I'm in that video editor, I want these controls. It's automatically switched over to them for me. One thing to note, one important thing, the Stream Deck, the device, the hardware device, it must be plugged in directly to your Mac. You can't connect it like to a hub like the mess I've got over there. It will work, actually, if you do plug into one of them, but not consistently. It'll just sometimes stop. Yeah. I do know people who say, no, theirs is in the hub. What are you trying to pull here, William? But in my experience, it just stopped and I had to keep restarting it and things. And actually, that's what Elgato, the developers, they say as well. Plug it directly into your Mac, which means it's taking up a port, which could be a problem. It connects to either the old style USB-A socket or the newer USB-C one. The model I have connects only to USB-A, but the updated one, a newer one called the Mark II, comes with USB-C. So you need to be a little careful buying those. USB, what term is being overused here? Anyway, I don't think I can overstress that you as a writer and me as a writer, we have no actual need for a Stream Deck. But if you get one, you find more and more uses for it. I should also say I was sent this Stream Deck by Elgato, but actually when they sent it to me, I'd already ordered one. I'd ordered it in Amazon. I was just able to get in and cancel the order in time. So no, I didn't pay for this myself, but yeah, I was paying for it. I committed to pay the money. I just amazingly got the chance to uncommit it. Thank you very much, Elgato, and also Apple Insider that was involved in this for the feature. The money that was concerned, by the way, the cost of this 15-button Stream Deck, it's currently £139 or $150, thereabouts. The 15-button one, though, as I just said, it's really important. It comes in two versions. This USB-A connector and this Mark II one, I said that as USB-C. Same price, choose carefully. There is variation on the prices, and I'm starting to wonder whether the older one, the USB-A one, is at some point going to be discontinued slowly in favour of the Mark II? It would sounds possible, doesn't it? It could be worth shopping around, see if the price of one drops, if it fits your computer. It may also be worth looking at Stream Decks with different numbers of keys, of buttons. But it may also not be worth doing that. For instance, there is a 6-button version for £70 or about $75, and I don't think it's worth that. Even when you got 15, by the way, once you get hooked on this, you want more. So I think with 6, well, you can keep using them, but I think it's going to become a paperweight after you realise you should have bought a larger one, and eventually you let yourself do it. Just before I tell you about the even larger one still, there's also now, there's a Stream Deck pedal. I've not used it, but you've already got the idea from the name, haven't you? It's a foot control instead of buttons, like a pianist or a stenographer. Oh, on a Zoom call, I could go and leave and press the button. Yeah. There is an Elgato Stream Deck app for iPhone, Stream Deck Mobile. It lets you set up buttons on the iPhone screen and then not feel remotely like using a real Stream Deck when you tap away at them. I don't think that's worth it either. Elgato thinks you can try it, see what you think, and it's a point. But it's not the same. Well, it's free, by the way. You can have it for a trial, but there's also some in-app subscription, and I don't quite know what for because I haven't got it. And actually, I can't imagine that I will now. Whereas I also haven't got the 32-key Stream Deck XL, but I want one. That larger Stream Deck costs about £230 or around $250, but this one varies, seems to vary a lot. Definitely want one. There are alternatives to Stream Deck, I should say that, and they do similar things in similar ways, and I have not tried any of them. Okay. As I said, I went to buy a Stream Deck, and I had actually spent quite a long time looking into all of this for me and what I need, and the impression I came away with, right or wrong, was that Stream Deck was the one to go for. Certainly don't think you'll ever be unhappy with a Stream Deck. But I didn't make notes when I was doing this. I can't really justify that impression to you. It's just that is what I concluded and what I went to buy from. And yeah, by the way, if I did now buy a 32-key Stream Deck XL, I could keep using this 15-key one at the same time for a total of 47 keys. But also, no, I don't use this Stream Deck with my MacBook Pro. And that isn't because the MacBook Pro has only USB-C connectors and my Stream Deck doesn't fit without an adapter. It's because actually somehow it never occurred to me to even want to try using it on the MacBook Pro, not until this moment talking to you about it. So it's not like I can ever say that this is crucial to my work, but again and again, a Stream Deck is nice to have at first, and then it's just increasingly good, increasingly useful as you find more and more uses for it. That's it for this edition of 58 Keys. Thanks for watching, and thanks for asking about the Stream Deck. Now, take care of yourself, write more, and I'll see you soon. Liberator, bring me up.